Good morning. Get ready with me while I tell you about how I paired up my ex-best friend with his now husband, only for him and his now husband to turn around and cut off all of their long-term relationships. I used to have this best friend that I met back in high school. We weren't super close at first. They ran around, well, he ran around more with like my friends because he was older than me. But we like ran in the same circle, so we were around each other a bit. So while I was still in high school, they were in college, and we got a lot closer. But we would like FaceTime all the time and stay up all night, and kind of like I helped him through his first year of college. He was super lonely, and he like hadn't like made his friends, and like was really like honestly like very depressed, like wanted to move back home, like was having a really hard time in college. And I was just kind of like trying to help him find his place, like find some clubs, find people to be around, like maybe some classmates and things like that. And so I would just encourage him and like talk to him and all of that jazz. And eventually we started talking about his sexuality, and like because he was really like confused by it. He had had some girlfriends in high school. Now he wasn't sure if he was actually attracted to women or if he thought he was gay. Cat's out of the bag now. He is gay. He like had a crush on somebody, and they ended up figuring out more things about themselves. And supported him through that journey and like helped him kind of like figure out what he wanted to do, how he wanted to kind of like, I don't know, rediscover himself. We're really best friends. So this was like back in 2015 or so, 2014, like a long time ago. So then I go to college, and after a couple years, and we continue to stay in touch, like visiting each other. Even after he graduated, he would come down and see me and all that jazz. And then I eventually like graduate. One of the things about me is I'm from California, but I went to school in Iowa. And one of the times when I came out here to visit my friends, I had met this guy. And the whole time I was hanging out with this guy, I was like, oh my gosh, you should meet my friend Fred. Because, oh, for purposes of this video, obviously names have been changed. But I was like, you should meet my friend Fred. And Steve was like, oh, what should I know about him? And I kind of like told them things that they have in common. So I would just kind of like talk to Steve about Fred, and I would talk to Fred about Steve, like in two separate areas. But I never really like thought that those worlds would collide necessarily. So I was like, oh well, Steve lives in California and Fred lives in Minneapolis, so can't really it's hard to do that. I graduated, I moved back to California, was living with Steve because where there was some open space with my friends. I was one of his roommates for a little bit, and I continued to talk about Fred to him. I got my own apartment, I moved to a new city, you know, I was kind of doing my own thing for a while, but I kept in touch with Steve and Fred because, you know, they're my friends. One second, let me rinse my face.